All right, so today we're going to add to our parallel and perpendicular part, and this is the last thing that you need for your quiz. It's the last thing that you need for your test that will be popping up within the next couple of weeks, I guess, because just with our new crazy schedule. So one thing to keep in mind today is that if you have parallel lines, that means that they have equal slopes. And if you have perpendicular lines, that means that they have opposite reciprocal slopes. The hardest part today is identifying the slope. Hardest part. You're not having to really find slopes unless you have to get the equation into y equals form. But we did that last week and everyone did very well with it. So hopefully that carries over to today. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to go back to writing equations. Our equations today will be in point slope form, which is what we did on Friday when I came back. So point slope form is y minus y1, so you have to know what your y1 is, equals m, that's your slope, parentheses, x minus x1. So when you plug in to point slope form, and some of these will say to write it in slope intercept form, you don't need to worry about slope intercept form. It's all point slope. Write it in point slope and call it a day. But the main things that you need in order to write an equation in point slope form, you need a slope and you need your point. So if we take a look at this example 1 here, it says, what is the equation of the line? We're not going to do in slope intercept form. So what is the equation of the line that passes through the point 8, 9? So there's your point. That's your x1, y1. And is parallel to the graph of y equals 3/4 x minus 1. So we have our point, and now all we need is our slope. So they gave us this equation right here, and we're writing an equation of a line that's parallel to this line. So if they're parallel, that means that they have equal slopes. So what's the slope of this line right here? 3/4. So the slope of this line is 3/4. So if I'm writing the equation of a line that is parallel, and this one has a slope of 3/4, my parallel line will have a slope of what? What? 3/4. Because if your lines are parallel, that means they have equal slopes. So now you have your m. Now you have your x1 and your y1. You can just plug into that equation. So it's y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 is 8. And that's it. That's it. You don't have to distribute. You don't have to transform it. Leave it. Circle it. I box it. Call it a day. Move on. Not yet. I want you to try it on your own. Try it. All right, hopefully you didn't fall victim to the -3 there. The negatives always seem to throw people off. So we are writing the equation of a line. We're not doing slope intercept form. That passes through the point. We have -3, 5. That's my x1. That's my y1. And it's parallel. So if it's parallel, that means it has equal slopes. So the slope of this line is -2/3. So that means the slope of my new line is still going to be -2/3 because parallel lines have equal slopes. So to write it in point slope form, I do y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Now you can't leave it like that because just like in English, double negatives really mean a positive. So you should have y minus 5 equals -2/3 x plus 3. Any questions?
brain. I'm smart.
Any questions? We good? All right, last couple of examples. Flip the page. That's parallel. We've got to talk about perpendicular. So example 2 on the back here says, what is the equation of the line that passes through the points? So here's your point, 1, 7. That's your x1, y1, and is perpendicular to the graph of y equals negative 1 over 4 x plus 11. So perpendicular lines do not have equal slopes. So if this line has a slope of negative 1/4, what's the slope of the line that's perpendicular to that? 4.
Oh, I was right.
4 or 4 over 1. When you do perpendicular, it's the opposite reciprocal. So you change the sign. So it was negative, so it becomes positive. And you take the 1 over 4 and you flip it. So you could have 4 or you could have 4 over 1. They mean the same thing. I'm lazy, so I'm not going to put the 4 over 1. I'm just going to put the 4. Work smarter, not harder. So now that you have your point, now you have your slope, you can write your equation. So it's y minus y1 equals, my slope is 4, parentheses, x minus x1. And that's it. The hardest part is just remembering whether it's perpendicular or parallel, knowing about those slopes. All right, last problem to try on your own is the next try it. So try it. All right, so this one says, write the equation of the line that passes through the point, 4, 5. That's my x1, y1, and is perpendicular. So I'm going to change the sign and flip it. Perpendicular to 2, y equals 2x minus 3. So what's the perpendicular slope on this one? What's this? Negative 1/2. So negative, because this is positive 2, so change it. And then it's going to be 1 over 2 or 1/2 because this 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1. So you flip it. So negative 1/2. So you have y minus 5 equals negative 1/2, parentheses, x minus 4. And that is it. Any questions? Okay, your assignment today, it's short and sweet. It's on page 21 in your assignment packet. You're going to do problems 9 through 14. So there's 6 of them. 4 of them are exactly like we just did, where I gave you the slope, or I'm sorry, I give you the point and the equations already in slope-intercept form. Number 11 and 14, you're going to actually need to do a little bit of work to get the equation into slope-intercept form so that you can use that slope. So that's the plan for today. Ready, break.